Many consumers tempted into spending more perhaps online than they might have done because of Cyber Monday offers.
But for campaigners who think the whole thing is an unnecessary retail frenzy, shoppers are being encouraged to help save the planet by getting involved with Buy Nothing New Day.
Well, our next guest, Tamara Mattina, has gone one step further by launching a Buy Nothing New month. Tamara, welcome to you. How far are you into the month yet? Are you halfway through? Where are you?
Oh, well, I'm actually into the decade, to be honest, because I launched Buy Nothing New Month nearly 10 years ago, and I pretty much live a Buy Nothing New life, which is incredibly simple when you see how much stuff is out there, fantastic quality secondhand stuff. It's very easy to just live a Buy Nothing New Month life.
Was there an initial sort of period of transition when it was tricky? Did you have to think through, OK, I now need to replace this? I won't go to the shop. I won't buy it new. I'll go to a second-hand shop. I'll go to eBay. How does it work practically?
Well, it's actually these days I've had second-hand as my default for, as I said, at least a decade. But it actually started for me nearly 20 years ago when I was living in London. I live in Melbourne now. But I was working at Sotheby's and I had to look posh on a salary that didn't really let me do that. So I started op shopping or charity store shopping back then nearly 20 years ago. And back then, all the stuff that we need now, there wasn't so much stuff available, whereas now for me, it literally is not even on my radar to buy new things. Like I can buy updated mobile phones, anything you need, you can find it secondhand these days.
Oh, that's interesting, Tamara, because I thought, OK, we all get the kind of let's go into the charity shop to buy an overcoat. It's great, it's great quality. If it fits, wonderful. So clothing, yeah. But new electronic goods, keeping up with the latest gizmo, that's going to be trickier, no?
Well, that's a really great point that you make. Do we need to keep up with the latest gizmo in the first place? And I think that's one of the challenges that we're facing, that we keep producing all this stuff when we've got perfectly good stuff already. So for me, at the moment, my iPhone, it might be 3 or 4 models back and people laugh at it. It's perfectly good. It's an incredible piece of equipment. I don't need the most amazing whiz-bang, most updated one as soon as it comes out. And I think most of us need to start making that realisation that everything we do has an impact. Every one of our purchases, it's come from somewhere. We've got to think about the working conditions of the people who made it, the resources that went into it, and very importantly, what's the end of life for that thing? So when we throw something away, where is away? So Buy Nothing New Month invites people to think about all those really important questions and look at the beautiful alternatives, which essentially at the core is just saying let's not be wasteful, let's be more mindful of the impact of our consumption and move back to where we were once when we were talked about as citizens and friends and lovers and partners instead of being
also consumers, though, aren't we, Tamara? There will be those people who say, fantastic, but actually money makes the world go around, doesn't it? And there are, in this country, I'm sure in Australia as well, hundreds of thousands employed in the retail sector. You might not like what they do, but they are spinning that money around, and that has an impact on people's wages, on the tax base, all of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I agree with you. But Buy Nothing New Month doesn't say spend no money month. It's really about looking at where we're being wasteful or excessive with consumption. And I always raise this do you guys have Dry July or Feb Fast over there, which are those booze-free months?
Booze-free is not on the agenda, Tamara. I think I speak for both of us, Jane. Yeah, no, go on.
It says to Dry July or Feb Fast, what about the economy? Everyone goes, what a great idea to not excessively drink booze for a month and just take stock. So it's a little bit similar. So with Buy Nothing New Month, we say go nuts, spend as much money as you want secondhand, or spend the money on experiences. So science also tells us we're much happier when we spend our money on experiences for people, whether it's a gift instead of stuff. So there's plenty of ways that we can have a thriving, healthy economy, which is moving away from wasteful, excessive consumption, using our finite resources and then throwing it into landfill 2 minutes later.
And just in terms of are there psychological tricks, as it were, Tamara, that help people who are just not conditioned, not used to the idea of going into a second-hand shop, for instance, and wearing something that somebody else has worn? What can you tell yourself to say, it's been washed, it's been laundered, it's fine, it's as good as new?
Okay, it's a great question. So if you go into the world's most premium luxury hotel, are you the first person sleeping in those sheets or using that towel? or when you eat at the best restaurant in the world, are you the first person drinking from that cup or eating from the cutlery? So we all are using secondhand stuff in our daily lives. We buy secondhand houses, we buy secondhand cars. You know, we do this anyway. You know, libraries, all of that sort of thing. We already do it. But for some reason, when it comes to clothing, like I literally haven't bought a new piece of clothing for over 10 years. I still have a beautiful wardrobe with gorgeous, really well-made stuff.
Yeah.
But I
Do you
just...
draw the line at underwear, Tamara?
I absolutely draw the line at underwear.
OK, just on a better check. OK, we're going to leave it there on that bombshell. Thank you very much, Tamara and Mattina.
What a great idea.